We're on the road to WrestleMania. Welcome back to another edition of Monday Night Raw. We were only 24 hours removed from historic Royal Rumble. Not only did we find out who's going to be going to WrestleMania, we also crowned a brand new world champion. That new world champion, The Undertaker, will defend that championship for the very first time this evening, because The Rock, the former champion, is getting his rematch here this evening. So tonight's main event, The Undertaker defending that world championship against The Rock in a tables match. However, kick off tonight's edition of Raw, the man that won the 30-man Royal Rumble match on Sunday, none other than the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. Yes, Michaels once again in his illustrious career winning the 30-man Royal Rumble match. Therefore, HBK guaranteeing himself a World Championship match of his choosing in the main event of this year's WrestleMania. Is HBK going to be challenging the World Champion, or is HBK going to be challenging the WWE Champion? Hopefully we're going to be finding out this evening. Again though, the Rumble, an historic event, a fantastic event, full of great action. On the Raw side of things, we witnessed a brand new World Champion in the form of Undertaker defeating The Rock. On the SmackDown side, not only did we crown a brand new NXT Champion in Sami Zayn, but Seth Rollins overcome the odds, defeating both CM Punk and Kevin Nash in a fantastic triple threat match. So Rollins leaving yet another pay-per-view, still the WWE Champion. But back to Raw, HBK in the ring, microphone in hand. Let's hear what the Royal Rumble winner has got to say. Michaels certainly no stranger to the main event of WrestleMania. So Michaels not revealing this evening what champion is going to be challenging at WrestleMania. But we will find out in 3 weeks at the Bad Blood pay-per-view what champion is HBK going to choose. Not long to find out, as Bad Blood is only 3 short weeks away. We're only moments away from our opening contest of the evening. It is going to be Big Show and Kevin Nash representing the NWO, taking on Rey Mysterio and the returning Eddie Guerrero. Latino Heat, of course, returned Sunday at the Rumble. And speaking of the Rumble, Kevin Nash, as we know, was involved in that triple threat match for the SmackDown WWE Championship. Also in that match, CM Punk. And news now for any fans of CM Punk. During the match, CM Punk suffering a severe concussion. Therefore, CM Punk is not going to be medically cleared for several weeks to come. However, provided CM Punk is medically cleared in 3 weeks' time, the match has already been confirmed by Vince McMahon. It is going to be CM Punk taking on Kevin Nash, finally in a one-on-one match in 3 weeks' time at the Bad Blood pay-per-view. But nevertheless, back to tonight's edition of Raw. Tag team match incoming. Big Show, Kevin Nash, taking on Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. Here's Kevin Nash, one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions. Big Show, the other half of the Tag Team Champions, going to be incoming. But what is this? Scott Hall looks to be back in the WWE. A few months ago now, due to contract issues, Scott Hall left the WWE. Before he left, Scott Hall was the Tag Team Champions with Kevin Nash. So when Scott Hall left, Big Show, the other member of the NWO, took control of the second Tag Team Championship, and Big Show and Kevin Nash have been Tag Team Champions since. But as we are seeing, Scott Hall is back on Raw. The NWO back to 3 members strong, so Kevin Nash, Scott Hall and the Big Show, not particularly good news for the rest of the Raw roster. Kevin Nash, Rey Mysterio starting us off with their respective teams. And you can see quite the size difference there. Kevin Nash pushing Rey away, but Rey there with a spinning kick. Now the forearm. Oh, but Kevin Nash. A big forearm of his own. Irish whip off the ropes. Go for the big boot, not connecting. Rey Mysterio now. Go for another shot. Oh, and this time, drop kick. Kevin Nash really in the corner. But Kevin Nash now, the leader of the NWO. Regaining control though with that massive big boot to the skull of Rey Mysterio. Again, Eddie Guerrero, who is Rey's tag team partner in this contest, did make a surprise return on Sunday. It had been several months since we had seen Latino Heat on Raw. Last time we did see Latino Heat was in a losing effort in a lose-to-lose title match against Chris Jericho. So, Eddie Guerrero is back on Raw. I'm sure Chris Jericho not going to be too pleased with that one. Don't forget, Chris Jericho and Eddie Guerrero had that historic feud that went over a year last year on Raw. Going to be interesting to see if there is going to be any more Latino Heat Y2J confrontations in the future. Nevertheless, Scott Hall, the legal man for his team. Rey Mysterio, the legal man for his team. Just hit a standard moonsault. And now Latino Heat tied in for the first time. This is the Latino Heat's first bit of action in several months now. Going toe-to-toe with Scott Hall. And you've got to say, so far Scott Hall, who has also not seen action in several months, is looking great upon his return. So this match does feature 2 returning superstars, both Scott Hall and Eddie Guerrero making their long-awaited returns within the last 24 hours. Also, for any long-time wrestling fans, you may be aware Latino Heat and Rey Mysterio were a former tag team, formerly known as the LWO, the Latino World Order. Another great dynamic in this contest. The NWO taking on the former LWO. Definitely an intriguing tag team contest, this one. And now Scott Hall, the former Razor Ramon, making a tag to the former Diesel. Big Sexy now. Kevin Nash back into the ring. It's pretty clear to see in this contest the NWO are the much bigger men, although speed and possibly technique would definitely go in favour of the smaller men, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. Eddie in trouble. Showing some fight back now, throwing Kevin Nash into the corner. Tag to Mysterio now, double team action. Eddie Guerrero launching Rey Mysterio off the top rope into the crossbody, taking Kevin Nash down to the mat the hard way. And this is exactly what the Latino World Order have got to do. They've got to take their shots whilst they can, get every move in when possible, because as we are seeing in a split second, due to the pure size of Kevin Nash, a simple move can be a complete tide changer. Although Rey Mysterio, who possesses some of the most exciting offense we've ever seen in pro wrestling, back in the advantage now, drop kicking Kevin Nash, crashing to the outside of the ring. Scott Hall now getting involved, throwing Rey back into the ring, and the Outsiders, the current Raw Tag Team Champions, once again in control. It's probably worth me pointing out this match is a non-championship match despite the NWO being the Tag Team Champions. So again, this match is a non-title match. However, if Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio can get a victory this evening, then surely they'll be getting a Tag Team title shot sometime in their future. Now again, the news we saw moments ago, Kevin Nash's long-term rival CM Punk suffering a severe concussion at the Royal Rumble. Now we believe that concussion, ironically, was not done by Kevin Nash, but rather at the end of that match when Seth Rollins curb stomped CM Punk down to 2 steel chairs. Although it's got to be said, that is great news for Kevin Nash, because as we've seen time and time again, CM Punk and Kevin Nash repeatedly getting involved in each other's matches. Provided CM Punk is medically cleared, that one-on-one match between Nash and Punk will take place 3 weeks at Bad Blood. But back in the action, wine me, dine me, 619 me, Rey Mysterio the 619. Going for the pin. Is this one over? No, Kevin Nash making a save for his team. The Outsiders still in this one. Kevin Nash now tagged back in. Rey Mysterio's got Nash in the corner. Rey now go into the top rope, the pioneer of the WCW Cruiserweight division, with another high-flyer maneuver. Though again, the biggest man in this match with that fight back, a massive back body drop. Now keep in mind this guy is 7 foot tall, that is quite a distance to fall. And now keep an eye on Scott Hall on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, because he is behind Latino Heat, taking Latino Heat down, back in the ring. The jackknife powerbomb, a 7 foot jackknife powerbomb onto Rey Mysterio, and this one is over. The Outsiders are back on Raw, once again victorious. The Outsiders are the Tag Team Champions. Scott Hall is back, and the NWO are looking arguably stronger than ever. Great efforts by Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, but the Tag Team Champions too much for the former LWO this evening. And what is this? The Hardy Boys, Jeff Hardy, who we saw return at the Rumble, with his brother Matt, who has also returned now. And we know from last year the Hardy Boys and the Outsiders do have some history. That feud never quite ended, but it looks like that feud is going to be resuming. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before we do see Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Matt and Jeff Hardy in the ring for the Tag Team Championships. But we've got to move on. Up next, the next big thing, Brock Lesnar is going to be in action against RVD. Brock Lesnar actually requested this match this evening, to which Vince McMahon granted. Now the reason Brock Lesnar has requested this match is simple. Brock Lesnar wants some revenge on RVD, because if I take you back now 24 hours ago, back to the 13-man Royal Rumble match, Brock Lesnar went into that match as arguably the favourite, or at least one of the favourites. However, shockingly, early in that match, RVD actually eliminated him, the next big thing from nowhere. Brock Lesnar left embarrassed by Rob Van Dam, so I for one would definitely not want to be in the shoes of RVD this evening. Although some great early exchanges between these two great superstars. Brock Lesnar now with a massive release German suplex. Lesnar, obviously the bigger man, in the early advantage, as would be expected in this one. RVD is a former ECW champion. RVD actually the only man in history to hold the ECW championship and the WWE Championship simultaneously. So RVD is certainly no slouch. RVD, a veteran in this business. And RVD, despite the size difference, certainly has the tools to defeat Brock Lesnar here this evening. Although easier said than done, because you can see Brock Lesnar, this guy is an absolute beast. Arguably one of the biggest and strongest guys on this entire Raw roster. Again, Brock Lesnar embarrassed by RVD at the Rumble with that early elimination. Brock Lesnar extremely angry backstage, requesting this match this evening. So we will see how this one progresses. But I've got to say, I wouldn't like RVD's chances in this one. Slowly but surely now, RVD going to that top rope. Although Lesnar stalking his prey. Look at that. The belly-to-belly release suplex off that top rope. A super belly-to-belly suplex. Arguably one of the biggest belly-to-bellies we've ever seen in Raw history. Lesnar taking Van Dam now. Putting Van Dam on the top rope. This time Van Dam kicking Lesnar away. And look at that. What a move by RVD. Not a traditional move by any means, but certainly getting the job done. Taking Brock Lesnar down the hard way. And now a big kick to the chin. This is RVD's opportunity. It could be Rolling Thunder time. Looks like it is. RVD hitting the Rolling Thunder. But instead of talking to the crowd, RVD should be going that top rope. Wasted valuable seconds. Finally though to the top rope. Though Brock Lesnar turning over RVD. Indecisive there, and that could come back to bite RVD in the you-know-where. RVD missing there. A chance to hit the 5-star frog splash. If RVD was to hit that move, you've got to wonder this match potentially could have been over. And now RVD is back in trouble. Lesnar now spinning RVD around. And what the hell is Lesnar going for? Lesnar, what is this? Oh, what a move by Lesnar. Some sort of throw there. Throwing RVD onto the ropes. And you can see RVD feeling the effects of that maneuver. Van Dam looks to be a broken man. But no, RVD, a little bit of gas left in the tank. Kick after kick. The massive spinning wheel kick. Brock Lesnar is down. RVD now on the apron. Got to take his opportunities whilst he can. Going for a springboard, but no, Brock Lesnar. Look at the strength of this man. And catching F5 onto the whole effing show, RVD. Brock Lesnar, a humongous F5. And you can see the beast unleashed. The crowd booing the hell out of Brock Lesnar. But you cannot deny this man. One of the most dominant superstars in the entire WWE. And if one F5 wasn't enough, Brock Lesnar delivering the second F5. This time, the exclamation point. No doubt about it, this one is over. Very few superstars can kick out of one F5. I don't think anybody can kick out of two. And here's the replay. Brock Lesnar there. The catching F5. And that wasn't devastating enough. The second F5. Brock Lesnar didn't fare too well Sunday at the Rumble. However, on Raw this evening, Brock Lesnar dominant once again. And I'm sure Brock Lesnar has got a bright future heading into this year's WrestleMania. We are only moments away from tonight's main event, but before we do, look who it is. Stone Cold Steve Austin, another superstar that made their surprise return at Sunday at the Rumble. Austin will make his return to Raw next week, and you the viewers at home will decide Stone Cold's opponent for that return match. But more on that as the show continues, because it is main event time. Undertaker became the champion 24 hours ago at the Royal Rumble. It is now time for The Rock's rematch. Taker Rock World Championship in a table match. And this one already underway. The former champion there with a flurry, but Taker taking The Rock to the outside. But now The Rock with that low blow. A low blow by the Great One. And now Taker into the steel steps. The Rock, the former champion, you can see straight to work on the dead man this evening. The Rock, as expected, was not happy losing that World Championship last night. Although if you're going to lose the championship, it may as well be to the Phenom, The Undertaker. Much like Lesnar previously, one of the most dominant superstars in the entire WWE. As we saw at the Rumble, this is a different Taker to who we had seen recently. The more gothic look has now gone, and the big evil biker Taker remains. But no doubt about it, The Undertaker may no longer dress like the devil, but he is still the Phenom, still the Lord of Darkness, and The Undertaker still one of the most fierce superstars in the entire WWE. Though to his credit, The Rock not showing too much fear in this one. We are seeing some phenomenal exchanges. Big Evil now making his way to the top rope. A 300-pound clothesline incoming, but not connecting The Rock. What a maneuver, catching the dead man, Undertaker down. And now The Rock picking his spots. The elbow. Now focusing on that head. Multiple punches to the skull of The Undertaker. But now Taker reversing the Irish whip. These two men coming together there. Though somehow, some way, Undertaker there coming out with the advantage. Rock now thrown to the outside as the brawl is going to continue. Do not forget, this match is a table match. You can see 4 tables positioned around the outside of the ring. This match, of course, has no rules. There is no disqualifications, as Undertaker's skull just got bounced off that ring post. And The Rock now, the former champion, with that steel chair back in the ring. So as we said before, this match is The Rock's rematch clause for that championship he held for several months. The Rock, by invoking that rematch clause, has got his guaranteed world title match here this evening. Many superstars would use that championship match at the next pay-per-view, but The Rock does not want to wait till Bad Blood. The Rock choosing Raw this evening to attempt to get his hands back on that world championship. Though easier said than done when your opponent is a 7-foot Phenom. The table now is in the ring. That table looking to come into play for the first time in this contest. Again, for anybody not aware, this is a table match. The only way to win this match is to slam your opponent through a table. Rock there, the big clothesline. Picking Big Evil back to his feet. Now into the announce table. Again, going back to that skull. That's clearly a tactic by The Rock this evening. And the People's Champion throwing Taker now into the steel steps. The steel steps were actually used in their match on Sunday. It's got to be said, the World Championship match at the Rumble was another fantastic match. Both these men left everything in the ring, all to leave the World Champion. We now know how that one turned out. Undertaker defeating The Rock, reversing a tombstone attempt, to believe it or not, by The Rock, getting the 1-2-3, and that has brought us to this evening. Undertaker walking into Raw as the World Champion. The Rock, the former champion, invoking that rematch clause. And Taker again on the top rope. In no man's land though. Taker there with a rare mistake. And now The Rock. Also a rarity upcoming. The Rock on the top rope. We don't see that too often. Rocky going for the drop kick and connects. Dead man down. And now The Rock taunting. Gonna be looking for that rock bottom. Rock bottom incoming. But Taker reversing the rock bottom. Oh, now Rock into a massive choke slam by the Phenom. Big Evil there delivering a thunderous choke slam. In a regular match, you would have to assume that match could be over. However, this is a table match. The Undertaker to win has got to put The Rock through that table. And that is exactly what Taker is about to attempt. Put The Rock off that table. Rocky does not want no part of that table. The Rock out of the ring, avoiding that table at all costs. And now the Undertaker, following the Rock, proved to be a mistake though. The Rock playing possum, now back in control. Going to be going for a hat suplex there. And you can see the back of Taker's legs, the back of that knee, slamming over the steel steps. And again, another hat suplex, this time onto a table. Though luckily for the dead man, that table already collapsed. But still, a devastating manoeuvre nonetheless. Great tactic there shown by The Rock. Going off the head previously, now going downstairs to the legs. When you're a man that's 7 foot tall, those legs are so crucial for that offense. So The Rock, great tactics here this evening. But will it be enough for The Rock to once again become the world champion? The Rock now the advantage. Stalking the dead man to his feet. The Rock with a devastating chair shot. And now Rock going to school the dead man. Chair shot after chair shot. We don't like to see this. However, this match is a no DQ match, so nothing can be done. Everything is legal. This has been a great main event on Raw this evening. Both men now back into the ring. Exchanging blows. Rock now off the Irish whip. And the spine buster. Signature there by The Rock. And we know what's coming. It's time for the most electrifying move in sports and entertainment today. The People's Elbow incoming. And he connects. The People's Elbow to the heart of the Phenom. Big Evil down and out. And now Rock, taunting the champion, clearly feels he has got full control of this contest. Though The Rock accidentally removing that table from the ring, that could buy the dead man some precious seconds. But Rock finally, table in hand, table back in the ring. The crowd thoroughly enjoying this main event. And that table again coming into play there. The table shot taking Undertaker down. Picking Undertaker to his feet. We could be moments away from The Rock once again becoming the world champion. This time though, Taker reversing it. Off the Irish whip. And a massive big boot now. Big Evil finally hitting some offense. If the big boot wasn't enough, that is going to be followed up by classic Deadman. Here we go. Old school. A move the Undertaker has done for many years. A classic maneuver. The crowd electric, fully behind the Deadman. And now Undertaker going to be going for that trademark chokeslam. Oh, this time not connecting. The Undertaker hit the chokeslam previously. Going for it a second time. This time not connecting. The Rock reversing the chokeslam into that DDT. Undertaker bounced off that table. Luckily for the Deadman, that table did not break. However, The Rock now picking Undertaker to his feet. Rock bottom time. If Rock hits this rock bottom, this one could be over. Oh, but no, Undertaker reversing the rock bottom. And now The Rock. Oh, The Rock is in trouble. Undertaker. Oh, the last ride. The last ride through the table. And just like that, this one is over. The Rock giving everything he could give. Very few superstars can bring it to the Deadman as The Rock did this evening. But when it's all said and done, the Phenom, Big Evil, back on Raw and leaving Raw as he walked in, still the World Heavyweight Champion. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.